Joining me right now is Tennessee Senator, member of the Senate Armed Services, Commerce, Judiciary, and Veterans Affairs Committees, Marsha Blackburn. Senator, it's always a pleasure. Thanks very much for being here. You just heard your colleague, John Barrasso. He's a no on infrastructure, and he's a no on this wildly expensive $5.5 trillion reconciliation package. Have you seen what's in the infrastructure package? Let's start there.
Maria, we have seen bits and pieces. And as Senator Barrasso said, it is infrastructure. Yes, there are things in there that we would all like to see for roads and rivers and railways and runways and broadband. But there is a lot of additional spending. And when you're looking at all of this additional spending on top of what the expected number already was, you're looking at $550 billion in new spending, then what you have to say is, what does this do to the debt? What does it do to our children's future? What does it do to inflation? And what does it do to our freedom? Because every time those taxes go up and government is taking more of your hard-earned money, you're losing a little bit of your freedom. So we're going to be very careful in our processing and reading of the bill. I'm certain we're going to have amendments, and we'll begin to work our way through this because we're all for infrastructure. Tennesseans want to see money for roads and bridges and broadband. They do not want to see money for a climate corps or for the Green New Deal or subsidies for electric vehicles.
Yeah. Right, but that's the whole point, right, Senator? I mean, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, you just heard, they're tying the two bills together. So will you vote yes on infrastructure, or will you vote no so that you can be part of the group that stops these two bills from being tied?
I'm not supportive of this bill from what I have seen that they have brought forward so far. And to have a 2,700-page bill, and there are always things that are stuck in there that you end up finding, but to have that and expect that to be processed, amended, voted on this week is a pretty heavy lift.
So do you think they're going to get the 60 votes that they need on infrastructure? Will you be able to get these two things through in the next 2 weeks before the Senate August 6th recess, which is what Schumer wants?
I'm not certain they're going to be able to get this completed before the time that people begin to leave. You've got a lot of people with families that have plans, and they have events in their states that they are scheduled to be a part of with the people that they represent. So I'm not so sure about that. I don't see a pathway at this point for getting me to the point of being a yes. As I said, I'm supportive of infrastructure. I am not supportive of this piece of legislation as I understand it to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is the transparency of it. Your colleagues keep calling it a $3.5 trillion bill, but Maya McGinnis from the Committee for a Responsible Budget told me that this is actually valued at $5.5 trillion because there are all of these gimmicks within the bill that say, oh, we're going to end at this. Yeah, go ahead.
The spending is just out of control. It is as if the left is saying, we're going to force this issue of so much debt that it is going to force higher taxes. And as I have talked to Tennesseans, they have said, you've got to get this spending under control. Our children will have no future. There's not going to be any way out. We're at $30 trillion in debt. Of course, that's going to lead to inflation. Of course, that is going to lead to higher taxes. And they want wise decisions to be made and for the senators to be good stewards of those taxpayer dollars that they are sending to D.C. So focus on priorities. Budgets should always be about priorities, but don't put these programs in place that are going to outlive their usefulness by the time our kids and grandkids have to pay for this.
Well, that's the point. Larry Lindsay said that to me yesterday. He's the president and CEO of the Lindsay Group. And he said to me, look, just consider the fact that our kids and our grandkids are going to be paying huge taxes because they're going to be paying for it all at a time that China is rising. And the more debt you put on America is only weakening this country in the face of Xi Jinping's crackdown on business and his plans to acquire America, become the #1 superpower within the next decade. Here's Larry Lindsay yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures. Watch this.
Well, what Xi is all about is control. His predecessors tended to focus on wealth creation. That's not what he's interested in. He wants to assure the dominance of the Communist Party. The most recent that I urge people to read is his speech celebrating the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Communist Party. And what he talks about is, first of all, again, the need for the Communist Party to lead China. And secondly, it's revenge for what he calls the deep humiliation China suffered at the hands of the West in the last 150 years.
Senator, if you go back and read that speech by Xi Jinping, he says anybody who disagrees or pushes back against the CCP and challenges the CCP will find their heads mashed to dust. He actually said that.
Yes, you're correct. And that is a frightening speech when you go read it and you hear him say, if you challenge China, then you will face broken heads and bloodshed. And everyone should read that speech. China is intent on global domination. They right now are the second largest holder of our debt, the debt that we sell on the market that gets traded. They want to buy up much of Americans' production capability and our companies. We know this.
Yeah.
And this is why we have to be very strategic in how we deal with China, how we look at their debt diplomacy operations, how we look at their military aggression and their Belt and Road Initiative, and realize the impact that this has on our communities. In Tennessee, we have pushed back on China for a long time because of their intellectual property infringements. And we have we have dealt with this for quite a while. So it's a top issue.
Why isn't Joe Biden dealing with it? Senator, why isn't Joe Biden dealing with it? I mean, well, you know, there's no teeth to any of this China policy. Wendy Sherman went to Beijing last week. We haven't heard a peep about that. You are planning to announce this week a new United Nations Transparency and Accountability Act. This legislation would specifically call out China and Russia. Quick word on that, Senator, before you go.
Yes, this is something that Mike McCall in the House, Mike and I are doing this. But yes, we need to make certain that people that are being supported by the U.S. support us in the UN and bringing transparency to how they're spending their money, who they're supporting, looking more closely at our U.S. participation in the UN, who the UN is hiring, the amount of influence that the Chinese Communist Party, I mean, they're on the Human Rights Council. These are things that need to be up for review, and Americans need to be aware.
It's a great point.